Sorry.
It is
Welcome.
funny.
It is funny. Welcome to another episode of 2Tall Podcast with D&Q. As you can tell with those beautiful letters, my two favorite colors, red and blue. We're not blood and Crips or Republicans or Democrats. We're just two people. Yeah, we're just two people that want to entertain, and that's what we tend to do. I'm 2Tall Hall. Uh, that's
Quentin.
introduce yourself. No, I don't need to always introduce you. All right, and tonight, well, first off, hopefully you checked out our little new Friday evening show. We're doing a quick chat with D&Q. It's silly, but it's at least we still get the hot topics out. We're gonna find another one next week that really is worth talking about. But let's get into tonight's topic. We're going to talk about, as Pride Month's approach, what drives the intense pressure to label oneself with a sexual position within the gay community. Like I said, as we get ready for Pride Month, you're going to hear a lot of things happening. What you into? Do you party? You vision? What's your sexual position? Top, bottom? I know I'm verse. No, I don't do that. I'm side. You're going to hear a lot of that. Yes to threesome, you'll probably hear that, but I always wonder, why are we so pressured to talk about our labels so quickly? How did we get here? Is there a way where we can actually fill each other out first before that always being the main point of interest of what is your sexual position? So, Quentin, how do we get here? How do we? The words are so on me. Tag out, Quentin. Take it away. I'm trying to put the words together. Tag out. Take it away.
I'm not sure how we got here exactly, but I think some of it might just be, ugh, I don't know how to sounds to say it, but it is what it is. A lot of times when we first meet each other, it's on some sex type shit. So if we get right down to business, like what are you into? What position are you? That kind of stuff. And I know that I hate to say I hate to say it that way because of the way it sounds about our community, but a lot of the times when we first meet each other or those first encounters, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's part of that process at the beginning. It's just like talking about what do you like, what do I like, kind of thing.
But
I know that sounds terrible though.
what, like it says, what drives the intense pressure to label oneself? Like, why are we so quick to label ourselves top or bottom, right off the bat without trying to fill each other out? You know, um, and matter of fact, let's figure this out since we're so worried about labels. Why is it that even with the labels, you're still not good enough? Because there's a lot of people who claim themselves to be verse, and then they're not really verse. So, you know, I had dudes before who have said that they are verse, um, but they're verse bottom. Bro, you're a bottom. I don't care the way you flip it or dunk it. I think personally, when a dude says they are verse bottom, that means you're a bottom. So where are they getting that extra verse part from? If you're not, you know, I'm like, who gives us all these labels of, I'm a bottom, I'm a top, I'm a giraffe, I'm an otter, I'm a bear. But yeah, let's go there real quick. Let's talk about, why do bottoms say that they are verse, bottoms say that they are verse, but they bottom one.
I think you bring up that question alone, actually, it made me think about the original question again. So I think we learned from like the generation before us as far as, these positions and stuff. But I think as far as us labeling ourselves off the bat, one of the reasons we do it is because what comes with that label. And what I mean by that is there's certain statuses or positions in the on a hierarchy, I'll say, and it looks like this. Top is here,
Yeah.
and then bottom is here.
Yeah.
And not just in the actual position, but like tops are seen as more desirable or like the top of the totem pole, and bottoms are
Yeah,
seen
because
as less than.
the top side to cut you off, because the top, in my mind, I always put it like this: the top is supposed to be, and please, if where's that? Leave a comment, participate in the conversation. We want you to
Yeah.
really engage, because I'm going to say something that's going to piss somebody off. Don't do it on Jack. Hit me up on YouTube. We want to engage into the conversation. That's what it's all about. Because I'm about to say
Hmm.
something.
I
I
know what you're
always
about to say. Say it.
what what
No, go ahead and say it. Say it.
I always thought the top was the man. Period. The bottom was the woman.
The woman. I knew
The
you were gonna
woman.
say that because that's it. That is why we're quick to
And
label
don't
each
get
other
me
real quick.
wrong, I like the bottom. I do. It's very rare because no tops can step up. Let me stop. but that's how I always thought it was. It's like a man version of a, a woman, and not calling all bottoms females now, because there are some who are very masculine. But that's how I thought it was. Please continue. Sorry, Quentin.
No, I mean I agree with what you said. Like that's where a lot of it comes from. And after you ask that second question, it made me like think about it again because it's also a society thing too. Like not only in our community, but even in the straight community, sometimes
Yeah,
they look at gay men and the one who's like who's doing the bending. So
yeah,
whoever the top
yeah.
is, well, he's more manly than the one
Boom.
on the bottom.
Yeah,
So a lot of that plays into it too.
yeah. I definitely agree. You look at people automatically assume I'm the one, swinging the bat, and it's not like that. But some people, some dudes are like, they're not, they're not. Some of them feel too prideful to admit that they are the tops. I mean, are the bottoms.
Hmm.
And because you could be a good-looking dude and you're jack and you're muscular and you're taking dick, but that doesn't mean you're less of a man. It's just that's what you like. Um, but
Exactly.
let's dive a little bit deeper. What what about what about the tops? What about the verse? Matter of fact, where do the verse fit in this society? Because, like I said, we have bottoms who are birds, and then we have tops who, and it be those good-looking dudes. Like, dang, I wish that you would top me more, but you, no, 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 no. Got it all confused. I wish you would bottom more because you look so good, but you give off top. Because there's top verse tops and stuff, and I used to get confused. I'm confused now, and I'm part of this community. I'm part of this lifestyle. But why is it that some of the tops don't um, want to top, and they only like to, you know, bottom versus top? But they top, but they don't bottom that much, and it be tops with a beautiful ass. I'm like, whoa, can I get next? I'm like, nah, but you just said you were verse top, you know?
I think people just like what they like, whatever that position is. And then on top of that too, I feel like when you bottom, it's more intimate as far as your own position in it because you're letting somebody into your body. And I have met people who, this is not everybody's story, but I have met people who don't like to bottom because they've been molested or raped either as a child or growing up or something like that. And so that's kind of a trigger for them. So I've also heard that from some people why they can't bottom or don't want to.
Well, let's open up that. Stay right there. I was gonna wait for next week, but there's a new sensation hitting the gay community. and it's not crack. Don't worry. Um,
A different kind of crack.
Side, SIDE, side. I, you know, how you feel about that? Sides are identified as people who don't do any penetration. They like to bathe and jerk off, and I guess they just. But when I came out, 16, I wasn't hearing about side. I was, trying to figure out who I was, if I'm a bottom or I'm a top. Slowly turned into a top. Um, but yeah, what's your thoughts on sides? And can they really join in on the fun?
So, first of all, I didn't even learn what a side was until last year. Like,
Oh,
I started
yeah,
seeing
that's
it
when
like
I
on
started
profiles
hearing.
and stuff, but like, I was like, okay, what is a side? I didn't know. I had no idea, honestly. I thought maybe it was another word for verse or something like that. And then I looked it up and I was like, I did. I was like, what is side? People are putting that in their profile now. But I looked it up and I saw what it was. And you know what? Sides have been around forever. It's just it didn't have that name or it didn't have a name. Because I've known people for years who didn't do anything like penetration, but they'll do, other stuff. But I like the concept of them. Not for me. I like
I
everything.
like how the way you said the concept of them, like they're just a whole
Like they're separate.
they're a whole race.
No,
I don't know.
I didn't
I
mean it like
don't.
that.
Go ahead. No, no, no.
No, I didn't mean it like that. But like, I like everything. So I'm not a side. I like everything. But I like it because it messes up the religious it messes up the religious point against us sometimes because like they don't actually have sex together, and a lot of people's issue when it comes to homosexuality is the sexual aspect of it. So if you have two, let's say two gay men who are together but they don't have sex, do you still feel like they're a sin? You know what I mean? Like they make that question come up. So I like that they throw a monkey wrench in it.
That's like saying if a straight dude jerks off with me and you, that doesn't mean he's gay.
I mean, but some people's logic is that simple. Like, it's that simple. If they're having sex, they're gay. But then what if they're two men who love each other and they don't have sex? Then what? You know what I mean?
What are we fighting for? We're not trying to have sex. Let me stop. Me personally, I think I'm not a fan of this side thing. And to each his own, live your life. But I once had this dude who wanted me to link with him in Brooklyn, wanted me to take a 2-hour commute for jerking off. I could do that at home while looking at American Dad. Don't ask me why I'm going to do American Dad. That's none of your business. But
I have questions.
I'll tell you next Friday. If everybody tunes in every Friday at 2 o'clock, you'll get one free freaky answer from me. But no, I'm cool with the nipple play, but and the kissing, but just to jerk off, I don't. If it does it for them, cool. But I feel like where it's at is where tops and bottoms and verse. But it goes back to why are we pressuring ourselves? Why can't we just be, hey, I'm Derek. I like to have fun. I like everything. Um, but that's not an answer the community wants to hear. They want to hear a straight, are you a top? Are you a bottom? They need specific answers. So why are we so pressured to give specific answers? Why are we so pressured to give labels? Like I said, in 2 weeks, people about to hit New York, and that's going to be the topic of the town in the gay community. Hell, even in the straight community, there are some DLs like, oh, yeah, I'm bottom. I bottom a little. You know, um, so why is that? Why is there so much pressure for that?
I think it's just a community thing. I mean, it's kind of like it's the way that we get socialized in the gay community. Because I mean, before I was out, I didn't know what a top and bottom and all that was. You know what I mean? Like until you start being around other gay people who explain that to you, but I didn't know what that was. But I think as time goes on, maybe we'll start moving away from being so stuck to those labels. Because I mean, even now, more people are open to being versed just because more people want to do different things together. You know what I mean? Instead of just being in one box. And I think that's kind of the way things are going to move as time goes on and as people get more free and being who they are and exploring what they like. It's just going to get to a point, hopefully, where one day we just do whatever we do.
I would like that. With no labels needed, you know. Um, Listen, it got to the point where the word side has now been added to a Jack profile. You can put side on somebody's profile.
Wow.
You know, maybe we'll get to the point where my sexuality is just me. Period.
I mean, that'd be great too if we got
Yeah.
there. I mean, that's going to be down the line, but still, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. What is, let's go back to the verse, 'cause I feel like we're not getting verse anything. So if why is it that a bottom can't fuck with a verse? I have had times where, yeah, hear me out. I have a picture up on Sniffies of, my hoo ha and my ha ha and my ding 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 ding. Of course, this is a family friendly show, man. This isn't Marlon's show. Now that was crazy. I don't know
That
what
was crazy.
I don't know what kind of Derek that was. This is PG Derek, Um, well,
Derek was wild.
so, my dick and ass, excuse my language. Just keeping it up. But and there was this bottom that I hit up. I'm, whoa, you look good. You very attractive. He was like, I only like full tops. I'm not. If I send you a dick pic, that means I'm trying to fuck you. I had no interest on you fucking me. But why are they so consist on a full top? What does that have to do with anything? That's one of the things that pisses me off. Full top, full bottom. You got to be like, if I'm sending, like, for example, if I'm with a top and he has in his head, because I'm 6'7", I'm gonna top him. No, I'm sending you a butt pic, ass pic. I'm not trying to fuck you. So where's that energy coming from? Why are we so scared to chill with verse dudes? And what's with the full top and full bottoms? No full tops, no full bottoms. You see where I'm coming
You have to think. I see where you're coming from,
from? Have you ever
and
had
yeah,
that
you're right.
before you answer that? Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, because I've also like I lean more on the bottoming side sometimes. I'll top shit,
Really?
but at the same time, I've had people who only want a full bottom or don't want somebody who's a full bottom, or just kind of like what you were talking about, the opposite of that. And I think honestly, people like knock people out of the running, if you will, who could be great potential partners or, in life, just thinking that small, you know?
Hmm. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Um, because I just, that's such a turn off. Like, bro, why can't I'm not if I know what the lane you're on, and I'm in the two-way lane because I'm burst, and I'm trying to go into your lane. Why are you gonna push me away when you know you're attracted to me? Not to being egotistical, but we're trading pictures, and you take the time to look at my page. Oh no, I'm good. You're versed. Did you see me send a other picture that you didn't want to see? You know, but it's not just
Yeah.
gay men that identify with you know pride or gay community. What do you feel about bisexual men? How do you think a bisexual man define sex? What are their most common sexual behaviors?
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that one. I just
I
I
never
did some
really thought
research
about
at
it
work
like
today.
that.
I did some research. Yeah, I want to change things up. It's not just one main topic. I got a, you know, um, by the way, random, but have to give credit to my friend Malcolm. He's the reason why we're doing the under 60 seconds. He's the one that actually came up with the idea. Um, so I put out my own little spin on it. So, but nonetheless, I wanted to
Shout out to Malcolm.
shout out to Mal. I wanted to juice it up a bit. So yeah, how do gay and bisexual men define sex, and what are their most common sexual behaviors? It's very rare that I run into a bisexual man, but they do exist. They do
Mm-hmm.
exist. So what would you think would be their? How do you think they define sex?
I don't know if I necessarily understand the question. What do you mean? How do they define sex?
So what do you think their definition of sex is? Like gay men, we define it like top, bottoms, and stuff. The labels and everything. What about how do you think bisexual men move?
I think for them, it's just the experience that they have with whoever the person is that they're with. So, I mean, more than likely, if they're leaning on the gay side of their sexuality, then they're
Yeah.
probably still going to have that top bottom conversation because that's just a part of our community. And then when they're leaning on the straight side of their sexuality, then I don't know. I mean, it's probably more traditional just because
Yeah.
that's the way that things are set up over there, but it doesn't have to be
Over over there.
over there. But I mean, it doesn't have to be though. Like, I have a friend who is bisexual, and I mean, it's like equal opportunity when it comes to it could be a man or it could be a woman, and he sees them both the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like one more than the other, or it's more about the person.
But in the gay community, they're labeled bottoms and tops, so it would be different for a man
Like a
calling
man
him.
and a woman. I
Yeah,
mean, you're kind of already
that's my shorty.
set.
That's what they call
Yeah,
it. I have my
yeah.
friend Roy. He called his female friends. He only has one. I'm not about to put him on blast.
I was gonna say, don't do it.
But he calls his female friends shorties. Um, I got another one. Like I said, I wanna just because you think that this right here is the topic, I have two more waiting for you. Yes, this is our main discussion. I think we answered, but I'm gonna start bringing more to it. I stole that from Don't Get Me Started podcast. Because I liked how he didn't just leave it to one. When we was talking about gay dating, he dove into so much stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
that's
2Talk
true.
Podcast is original. We don't steal anything from anybody.
Never.
Never. Here's a good one as we get ready to close out. How can people be more respectful of others who have different sexual activity preferences without shaming them for wanting something different? For example, I'll put me as I wrote these at work, it was a slow day, leave me alone. For example, how can people be more respectful of others who have different sexual activity preferences without shaming them for one? Like, I'm really verse, but sometimes I do like the bottom more, and I don't feel ashamed for that. Some dudes, oh, you too tall to be getting smashed and stuff. I be seeing dudes taller than me, bigger than me taking dick. I see little small dudes, trying to take 11-inch dicks. So why can't we accept each other's sexual preference? And because we're so quick. Well, I'm fake for it because here I am saying that, but I literally am getting upset when a bottom doesn't want to link with me because I'm verse. So how about you teach me? How can I accept? You're in the driver's seat now. How can I learn to respect somebody's preference?
Is that actually for me?
Yeah, that's for you.
Uh,
Listen, it's
I
for
think we
whoever.
all
Please
can,
join in on the conversation. Leave a comment. We would love to hear it.
for sure. But I think we all just need to be more open to what other people like. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean you have to do something that you don't want to do. It has to be a conversation. That's all. Like we should all give each other enough grace where we can come to each other, especially if you're trying to date somebody, and just be honest about what it is that you like. And you can both be honest with each other about what it is you like. And then from that, whatever you're willing to be a part of, you can be a part of it. And if there's certain things that you're not, you don't have to shame somebody else for what they're into. Just be like, that's just kind of beyond what I feel comfortable doing. But if you're into that, that's cool. And y'all just decide if it's a deal breaker or not.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still stuck on the verse thing, but yeah, I kind of got what you were saying because there was times where people have asked me if I'm into water sports. Nah, I don't want to do that to you. Um, I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie, but
You can have it done to you as well.
yeah, we'll see. Um, there's something about being in control um, that does it for me. Um, but yeah, it's all about what makes you comfortable, you know. And you shouldn't be ashamed to be a kink and let your freak flag show. Um,
Let it fly.
let it fly.
Let it fly.
Um, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But just live your life, have fun, enjoy, and don't pressure other people if they're not into something that you're into, that you're not into, and stop with the drugs. Too many people, and they're beautiful black people. I'm seeing it more with the black community, with the parties and stuff. They be beautiful. I don't know what. I just don't. But I wish that on nobody. I know I keep talking about black, but I'm black, so you
Hmm.
know with half Dominican. I look it, but no.
You do
Um,
look it.
I do look it, right?
Hmm. You
I
look
wish
Dominican.
I wish I was. Maybe they wouldn't be charging me $30 for nothing. You know. Um. So yeah, but part two is next week, and we're gonna dive in a real deep. Cause I want to give a little sneak peek. We're gonna talk about would you ever date. Would you ever date a positive man? And if Quentin wants, he'll probably give a little backstory. We'll have some more topics. Um, yeah, I want us to really have some fun and explore each other's. That's what makes gay men beautiful and gay women. We like to explore each other's minds and bodies and souls and have deep conversations and stuff like that. Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
that's pretty much it. Um,
It's gonna be
remember,
interesting.
yeah, tune in next Monday. YouTube and Spotify, Apple Music is Apple Podcast is coming. I'm still working on it. They're giving me a hard time because you have to. You see our backgrounds, by the way, our beautiful backgrounds. I'm trying to put that background onto the podcast, but I gotta. They said they gotta be a 3,000 by 3,000, so I gotta re-image it. So I'll take care of that this weekend.
We'll
Um,
get there.
we'll get there. I'm gonna make it
Yeah.
happen. Thank you for everyone that tunes in. Thank you for our new subscribers. Why am I? This thing is blocking. Thank you for our new subscribers. We got like 4 new people. One of them I'm not gonna say, but thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate you. Share, like, leave a comment. Once this episode drop, engage. Leave a comment. Did you like anything that we said? Did you disagree? Do you like being the bottom? Why you like? Yeah, matter of fact, do you like being the bottom? Why you like to be a bottom more? Why you like to be a top more? Why you like to be a verse? I like verse because it's the best of both worlds. I'm lifting up one dude here and
Multitasking.
huh?
Multitasking.
Multitasking, yeah. And hey, sides. Listen, side
And
quests.
sides. Yeah.
Let me know.
Sides respond too.
Yeah,
We like to
respond
hear your
too.
side of the things.
Boo! Oh, boo!
What?
That was corny.
What
My
do you
co-host
mean?
is starting to come out his shell now.
What does that mean though? Why is it corny?
That's like me saying I'm going to get on top of the case, or I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Get out of here.
Oh wait. I
Yeah.
wasn't even thinking about it that way though. I didn't even
Ooh.
mean it like that. I can't help it. I did a pun and I wasn't even trying to.
um, I want to thank you all for tuning in to 2Tall Podcast with D&Q. This has been good. Thank you so much. Tune in this Friday. Remember, we're dropping little quick chat with D&Q where we give one hot topics under 60 seconds every Friday at 2 o'clock. It's really quick. It's like, like it, share it, subscribe. It's not going to take up too much of your time. Literally, it's super fast. So we'll be back for that this Friday. We'll see you next Monday for a brand new episode of 2Talk Podcast with D&Q. Quentin, say goodbye to the people.
Bye everybody. Have a good week.
Bye.